welcome back. You might be asking me, what's new today? Well, let me tell you, in addition to my water, which I obviously drink quite often, today I'm also eating curd. So you'll get to make me watching disgusting faces all day. Bound to give you some enjoyment. So, week 4 is over. What do I have to say to you? I say to you, this has been the most successful week so far. The success with which I have been recently following J Skulls' recordings, actually quite good. Except for the 2 days during which my mother's cousins came. Those two days were quite bad because I did not study a lot. Other than those 2 days, most of it was good. But I had one day in between. The one day after they left, I had to kickstart just a small bit. But before that, for the 1 week that was before that, it was excellent. I felt on top of the world, and I felt satisfied. Well, that is not enough. Actually, I've realized that. I'll tell you why. Good. Yeah, my notes. So, my mother found out day before yesterday that I was using J Skulls' streams to get myself into the study mood, and she started screaming at me. She said she did not know that I was doing something like this, or that I was watching something while studying. She said that it was actually a crutch for me. She said that I was making more and more crutches as I went along, because I still remember I used to have this mentality, even till 2-3 months back, that if I skip one day of exercise or if I skip one day of meditation, the benefits or the happiness I can gain from that day instantly reduces. Well, I found that out to definitely not be the case. For the past 1 week or so, my sleep schedule has been so fucked. It cannot even compare to how bad. No, last week cannot even compare to how bad it is right now. Most days I'm waking up at 2:30 in the morning. Some days 3:30. Some days 4:30. Today morning, I was actually planning on trying to wake up at 1:30 in the fucking morning. Thankfully, I did not wake up. I woke up at 4:30. But then there was this test that I had to do at tuition. So I told the man, bro, I have diarrhea. So could you please skip the class in the morning, and can we just go to the classes in the evening? So doing that, Mahesh sir did not. After we communicated to Mahesh sir that I had a loose motion case, Mahesh sir cancelled the morning classes, which were mathematics, and he just made us do the physics classes from 2 o'clock onwards to 6. Right now it is 6:40, by the way, evening. So I lied, and I feel bad about that. But fuck, did it not help. Oh my god. In addition to just learning for the test, we also had a physics study material study material discussion today. What we are meant to do is we do the study material exercises, and then we come and we ask doubts. So we were meant to finish 1 or 2 exercises today as well. I did not do a single exercise in the material. So I started in the morning today, told Mahesh sir I have diarrhea, got a cancellation of the classes till the afternoon, and then I worked my ass off. And this was a very unique sort of session for me, I feel. I'll tell you more about this later. Guys, what was I thinking? Yes. Essentially, my mother was telling me that I was using it as a crutch for my studies. I was putting more and more conditions so that I can have a good study session, which should not be the case. You should not have so many conditions to have a good study session that I have to meditate, or else I won't be able to focus. I have to do exercise, or else I won't be feeling energized. I have to eat this particular food. Eventually, I might have even gotten into that sort of stuff. If I have this sort of food, only if I have this sort of food will I be able to attain good focus. So, exactly what it means. It would have been a crutch for me. My mother pointed it out to me, and I got very pissed. But then a bunch of stuff happened. But regardless of that, what I've decided now is I need to start weaning off J skulls. You know what weaning off is, right? Uh, After they are born, babies have to babies get used to consuming mother's milk, and then they have to get used to not having it. That is what it is. It is getting used to not having J skulls streams in front of me anymore. That's what I have to get used to. One of the reasons for this is of course, I realized a bunch of stuff after my mother told me that. But then there's also the fact that I'm reading Deep Work by Cal Newport. Cal Newport. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that perfectly, but I'm not British. I am Malayali. I'm Tani Malayali. Proud to be one. So in Deep Work by Cal Newport, I have seen not a single person who works while having a stream on beside him. I realized that if I just continue to do this, it would just mean that I'm coping. And I don't want to be somebody who copes, because that is something only cowards do. I do not want to cope, I want to go all out. In Deep Work by Cal Newport, in the book Deep Work, all of the people that the author introduces us to who have good work habits, all of them work alone. All of them sit in these distractionless cubicles, and they try their very best to focus on one thing alone. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here with one screen in front of me showing a guy whose cat is fucking adorable, just sitting there studying. I'm just watching this guy in the middle of my reveries. I realized that it was not an effective way of studying anymore. I need to start getting off it slowly. Now, I also bought myself an ergonomic chair. It is quite good. Actually quite good. It has already, made my back posture a bit better, I feel. Otherwise, I have not been exactly too conscious of my, back this week. It is quite hard to be aware of your back. Sorry. I'll have to get back to that after school starts. You may ask me why I'm not sitting on that chair right now. Well, I had this thought, okay, before I was writing this. Initially, I was about to just say that I was not sitting on the chair because it was too much effort to drag the chair from that room till here. That was what I was planning on saying, but eventually I thought over that. I thought, especially because it has wheels. Usually ergonomic office chairs have wheels, right? So why it should be easy to drag it over here as well. So why would you not be sitting there? So the reason I've come up with is this. I do not want me sitting in that chair to be associated with anything comfortable. When I sit on that chair, I want to be focused. That that space, the space around that chair signifies work, and I don't want that to change. I don't want that environment to change into one of relaxation and video recording, which is actually it is quite relaxing for me. You may not believe it, but it is very relaxing. It's just me sitting and drinking water and talking, especially when I have nobody else to talk to. I don't have nobody else to talk to, but this is sort of a self-reflective talk. I'm watching my own words. I can make all the mistakes that I do make, and I can try to rectify them on my own. So I'm not sitting on that chair because I don't want that feeling to be associated with comfort. I want that work. The second I sit on the chair, I must go straight into work mode. That is my intention here. Ugh. I quickly want to get into a small side tangent here. I had not written this down before, I just got the thought. So, a quick side tangent I want to get into is your office layout. You may not have an office, you probably only have just a chair, just a chair like me, but I think this is quite important because of the fact that my mother does not trust me anymore. For some time she did not trust me, because that I have been having to study downstairs near my mother's bedroom, not near my mother's bedroom, in my mother's bedroom at a table there. I've been made to do that for quite a while now. Even before she was cross with me, she was always saying, Kanna, you must always study downstairs or else you will get distracted. She was always saying that. So, in the past 1 week or so, I got very, very comfortable with my office environment, which was here. I had these soundproof walls, there would be no noises whatsoever. I wouldn't even hear the vehicles outside. It's completely soundproof. Because of that, I got very comfortable. Despite there being all of this, you won't be able to see it, but in the end, maybe if I remember, I'll show you what is around here. But this place is quite comfortable, so I was used to this. But then my mother has started working here again, with the mic. You're actually, what the phone is sitting on right now is the mic stand. Not the mic stand, but you know how mics have a rod connected to it, and that rod is connected to something that sits straight. You're leaning on that straight part. That's what you're doing, okay? Hopefully you're not gay, because I just called you straight. Fuck. Regardless, the setup is quite crowded now, so I don't have the ability to study here anymore, especially with the laptop, because I need some space to put the laptop. So I switched back over to my room. I shifted the table there. This is a different table. You may not think so, but this is actually a different table. I shifted the table there along with my brother, and I started working there. So what happened was, the reason I got into this point is this. I would highly suggest that you have one place at which you study at all times. Because when you move to a new study place, you have so much friction to go through. Every time my mother came upstairs and saw me studying upstairs, she was like, Kanna, come downstairs and study right now. How much of a fucking mess do you think it was to shift the laptop, the countless books that were on me at that time, my pens, my pencils, and then going downstairs and then realizing, fuck, I did not bring my water, I did not bring my fruits, I did not bring my curd. How many times do you think that has happened? It is annoying as fuck, and that pushes out the drive and the want to work inside you. It's quite agitating, honestly. Fuck, this place is so damn congested. This also ties in back to the fact, you know, this also ties in back to that point I made about not sitting on my chair because I don't want to feel comfortable inside it. Fuck, in it. I don't want to feel comfortable on it. You need to have an environment in which, or at least a small space. It need not necessarily be an entire room. I've discovered that now. But you need a space, a square, 1 or 2 square meters of space in which you think, yeah, this is the place where I study and I am not doing anything else here. I usually don't journal on my study table, usually, but now that I think about it, I do actually journal on my study table. It is still something related to self-improvement, so fuck that. It's still work. But when you sit in a new environment continuously and try to study in that, it actually reduces the depth to which you can go because you are always distracted by the things around you. In my room, I don't get distracted about anything except for the fact that there are a lot of. Oh, that is actually true. Make sure your table is clean. My brother is always messing up our table. Always, without fail. Oh, always there will be chargers, there will be laptop stands, there will be his laptop, there will be his charger, there will be my charger. It is so fucking messy just to get into that state of work. You have to go through so much friction. Because of that, I suggest having a clean table. I've already forgotten the point I was trying to make. Have a place where you study every day, every single time, and make sure that it is somewhere feasible. Because I kept on denying, the fact that I need to study there. Because in that part of the house, you don't get any network whatsoever. And with me using all of this J-Skulls recordings, there was endless friction to move there. Because of that, I decided, no, I will move there, but this time I will not bring any J-Skulls recordings with me. And that will help me in the long run. I'm sure of that. I'm glad my mother brought this to my point though. Fuck. No. I feel so damn tired, After I have so much to study as well. Give me a second. Forgive me for going again. It's more than 2 hours later now that I have access to the phone again. As I was saying, oh fuck, I'm sleepy. As I was saying, I've always believed in the fact that deep work and your pace and the pace at which you do stuff directly correlates with how undistracted you are. Now, this is very true because it has been shown time and time again in Cal Newport's book, Deep Work, and he's none of the people who are at the top working teams, except when they have anything to collaborate on. Otherwise, they work solo as much as they possibly can. But on this hand, here I was being more productive because of the pressure that was being put upon me by my mother, which is weird, as it goes against the teachings of that book. I don't get distracted as in badly anymore while studying. I don't just randomly open Instagram or some sneaky little site in the middle of my studies. I don't do that anymore. I've gotten over that. I don't think I'm ever going back to that, but I don't do that stuff anymore. So the only thing left that is distracting me are my thoughts and procrastination. Those are the only two things that can stop me. For that, the only thing I can do is increase the depth. I have to push it into myself. No other way than that. But still, it is quite interesting what can happen while it is quite interesting what you can accomplish when you have somebody who is just there behind you. It's a lot of pressure on your head. And by the way, I changed the setup a bit, so there's a bit more lighting. Is it good? Does it make me look more ugly? Obviously, I'm very handsome, but I've been exercising. I haven't been exercising for the past few days, so I don't think I look physically exactly the best that I possibly could. Fuck, bro. Honest. Okay, so the next week, again, same focus in the sense that I am going to be studying as much as I possibly can for the next week. That is still going to be my focus for the fourth week straight. For nearly a month now. Actually, it's been 28 days. It has been 28 days. So this is the beginning of the fifth week. So 1 month in, a lot of progress has been made. I like that. So this week's focus is again going to be how to increase the depth at which I study. I'm sorry. This week I'm going to be mainly focusing on depth. I've been able to, I mentioned last time that I was studying in very small time periods, which is 15 minutes, 10 minutes break, 15 minutes, 10 minutes break. Let's see, what I discovered was James's old streams were all 1 hour, 10 minutes, 1 hour, 10 minutes. So I started using those recordings instead. So I automatically just study for 1 hour rather than 15 minutes now. Because of that, I think I have gained a bit more control over how deeply I can work. So I have a good amount of time. 1 hour is an okay amount of time. Ideally, I would be able to get it to around 1.5 hours, but that is a long-term goal. 1.5 hour, 2 hours, long-term goal. So I have actually improved the amount of time I study. Now I have to improve the depth at which I study. For this, I only have the book Deep Work by Cal Newport. I am going to be trying to implement it as much as I possibly can. I don't know how feasible it will be, but I will do that. I will do that. I'm sure of that. I don't know, but I have a good feeling about this next week. Even last week, I had a good feeling. Look where I am today. I am at a better position. Though I still have not exactly the best marks, I still have been able to improve my study habits and still, have these good muscles. Fuck, bro, these things are my pride. Can't lose them. So, next week I'm going to be increasing the amount of depth at which I study. I'm going to slowly starting to break away from James Scholz's streams so as to get into a more deeper state. And that will be difficult because, as Amma said, I am getting into that bad region where I'm going to be having this as a crutch. I can't have that. So increasing depth. Next thing I'm going to do is I have something that I have been thinking of doing for quite a while. So what I will do is in the middle of my breaks, I have 1 hour, one 1 hour 10-minute sessions, right? 1 hour I study, 10 minutes I take break. So what I'm thinking of doing is, after I do 1 hour of deep work, I will do the following three things. First thing I would do is, I would do 40 push-ups. 4 sets of 10 push-ups in the 10 minutes. Next 10-minute break, I will do my jaw exercises, which will help me get a better face in the long run. And the third thing I will do is I'll just keep walking and doing the back neck exercises. Those are the three things which I plan on doing in the middle of the break. So far, I have only been doing the Jeffrey thing of just watching James talk to the stream, which, if you think about it, leaves quite a big attention residue left there. So what I'll just do is, I'll do physical things while I'm not doing the studies. It'll also help me, relieve the pressure on my buttocks for sitting this long. I don't know. So that is one thing, and that is one thing that I really need to improve on. That is my sleep timings. Oh God, for the past week, almost every single day I've been waking up at 2:30. It is bad. I feel a shell of a man when I don't sleep well. I feel absolutely horrible when I don't sleep at least 6 hours. Just the last entire week has been like that because of my exams, and I was so tired that today when I woke up after a good 6.5 hours of sleep, I felt so refreshed. I can't even believe how refreshed. I couldn't even believe how refreshed I felt. That was that was what that was what was being robbed of me because of the study routine. Now that school is starting, I will have classes at 9, around 9, and because of those classes, Mahesh sir will not keep tuitions in the morning anymore. So I don't have to wake up as early as I used to. I can just sleep at 10 and wake up at 4:30. That can be what I always do. 6.5 hours of sleep, sometimes even 6 hours of sleep. Still good. That is still relatively good. Far better than what I've been doing this week. Because of that, I think my fucking bowel movement has gotten worse. Ironic thing is, we got a leave today from Mahesh because my mother told Mahesh sir that I had a case of loose motion, when I actually feel that I am slowly moving towards constipation because my bowel movement is not regular anymore. Quite hard to get shit through. I always used to have this time of the day when I would feel like shitting in the morning because it was so regular every single day. Without fail, it would be at that time. But because of my sleep schedule and my routine getting messed up, that has changed quite a bit. I also need to get back onto the habit tracker. I'm not using that consistently anymore. Needs quite a bit of work to keep consistent. I do journal, but yesterday night I was too tired to journal. Tonight I will journal. So these are the things that I'm going to be focusing on for this next week. I will be honest, I've not been able to meditate for the last 3-4 days, again because of my irregular timing of waking up. What I used to do was I just wake up, go downstairs, have a coffee, go shit, come outside after taking a bath, then immediately go and meditate. But nowadays what happens is I don't have the luxury of being able to go immediately for this small routine, because that consumes a lot of time, including the meditation. So I've been skipping meditation for quite a few days now. I don't know how mindless I feel yet, but I'm pretty sure the side effects will start setting in if I don't start meditating again. Even now, it will be difficult, I'm sure of that. But it would not be as difficult as it usually would be because I'm not hyper stimulating myself. I'm just working most of the time. And the hardest times to get back into meditation is when, at least from my experience, have been when I have not just, it's not just about not studying, it's about, you know, continuously doing things that give you pleasure, like jacking off, scrolling through endless amounts of YouTube until you get bored of even that, until you start seeing your feed fill up with the things that you want to avoid the most for the rest of your life. That's the sort of shit that really puts you out. I feel like I've started to gain a double chin because of the amount of stress I'm having right now. Fuck, bro. How can I become like this? Can't have that. No can do. I have to be the handsome guy, charismatic man with thick beard. That is what I was always meant to be. I'm going to be growing my hair very long. It'll take a long time. It'll take probably around a year. You will see the entire journey. I don't know if you have seen the first video, but the first video is just me with a shiny ass bald head. The thumbnail of that video is very, very weird, I would say. Now, if you, 11 months from now, when you see me, I'll have long, long locks, luscious locks, just probably not tied, but at least I'll be combing them back. And I'll be having the I'll be having that music in the background while talking with you guys about how to become a don. Talking to you guys about family in a drunken, sleepy sort of voice. Alright, school's reopening on 27th. A bunch of shit has happened. Actually, I'll tell you one thing. Okay, so I gave my clothes for resizing something around 8th or 9th of this month, and they said that it would be ready by 20th. 20th is long gone by now. Today is 24th, and I still find it hard to believe. The day we went there was only one person there, the assistant. He said that the main boss who, worked there, he had got into some sort of accident. He was not well. His leg, something about his leg, I don't remember exactly, but so he was the only guy in shop, and he measured me and he gave me, and I told him what I wanted, and he was like, okay. He seemed like a genuinely nice guy. 1 week later, no, 2 weeks later, here I am. Yesterday, I called him, and my mother went to pick up the clothes. And what she discovered there was that assistant had gotten into some sort of fight, and because of that, everybody in that area had made him shut down his shop permanently. So I got my school clothes back, but all, and I mean all, of my jeans were lost in the turmoil that had been created because of the people. So what that essentially means is I no longer have any jeans. That is quite a bad thing, except for the fact that I have a lot of good fashion ideas for myself coming up, but I need to salvage those jeans, and that can only be done when I am there. My mother can't pick up and find my jeans out for myself. I have to do it myself. I'm using too many words quickly. This year is going to be quite fun. I don't think I have much else to say. Let me just flip it. There was a bunch of stuff I want to speak about in terms of school as in social connections, but I don't think this is the correct video for that, and I'm pretty sure this is too long anyways. So I'll just dip here. Thank you guys for watching. Adios.